Welcome back, comic book collectors and enthusiasts. My name is Brandon. You're watching M.O.N.Comics. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a great week. This week, I have some awesome books for the MONmail Mighty 5, if you will. If you're new to my channel, I used to just do a mail call and get, show off what books I got that week. But now I've just kind of melded everything together, and each week I pick 5 books that I was particularly, I'm psyched to pick up all my books, but why I picked them up, what they're special, where I got them from, since the whole basis of my channel is to try to give people some good info on sellers across the interwebs. And working my way towards 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to the most recent people who've hit subscribe. I know it might not seem like a lot to you, but it definitely helps my channel grow, get me towards 1,000 subscribers, and work towards a pretty sweet giveaway. So if you want to be part of that, and you've liked my content so far, you want to keep checking me out, just please hit subscribe, hit like, and I'm going to ask you to leave a comment at one point in this video pertaining to one of these books. So let's get after it. This first book, as you could see from the title, I picked up 3 Silver Age keys and then 2 Bronze Age, more monster featured books. But this one was very psyched to pick up because I don't have his first appearance, but I was able to get his second appearance. So this is Tales of Suspense 54. It is the second appearance of the Mandarin. It is from 1964, written by Stan Lee, covered by Jack Kirby. It's actually comprised of 3 separate stories. So the Mandarin's Revenge is the first one. I'll put a little picture of that there. I like putting the splash pages up. I think I'm going to start doing that. The second one is Skang Strikes Tonight. Crazy little alien dude. And then the last story is Hands Off, featuring the Watcher, which is pretty cool. So a lot of books back in this era, like Where Monsters Dwell and other ones, had small breakdowns, a few different stories within the book, Tales of Suspense. So this one is cool. It's the second appearance of the Mandarin. Mandarin is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, arch enemies of Iron Man. Basically, long story short, he went to a forbidden area in China and found 10 rings within his spaceship from another world, obviously. And those rings each have a different power. I didn't memorize them off the bat, but one's like a freeze ray, one's a darkness ray, and he has to wear them on all specific fingers to make them work. And he always dukes out with Iron Man, so his first appearance was Tales of Suspense 50, and this one is Tales of Suspense 54. So just him, Iron Man, duking out. It's really a cool book. It was a relatively cheaper second appearance. I got this from Pikemark on Whatnot. He had it listed a little higher, and then he looked at it and said, you know what, I can do a little better. And I didn't even ask him what his best deal was. He just offered to lower it a little bit, and he's on there to sell books. So that was really cool of him. I really appreciate that. He had it marked as a 3.5 to a 4.0. I'm probably going to lean towards a 3.0 to 3.5. It's got some chipping up top, or just, just the Marvel fragility, if you will. Fragile. And it also has some water damage to it, but cover's great. Spine isn't too bad at all for its age. A nice little corner box of Iron Man. So this is first Silver Age key, second appearance of the Mandarin, Tales of Suspense 54. Cool character. When they had him in Iron Man 3, I was pumped. Ben Kingsley, Oscar-nominated actor, is going to be playing the Mandarin, and I'm like, my gosh, what are they going to do? Is he going to awaken Fin Fang Foom? Like, there's implications there. It's going to be the best villain ever, and then they didn't use him the way I thought they would, or should, or could. So hopefully we'll see him in some iteration in the future, fighting maybe Ironheart. I don't know, but very cool book. This second book I got from a local auction company out of Utica, New York. They're called Blue Eyes Auction. I'll put their logo right here. I've known this gentleman that owns the company, I believe, with his wife, for some time now. I bought books off him. I bought figures off him. His name is Mark. Great guy. So relatively local to me. He will be at the Battlefield show I'm going to next week, and I know he has some comics. I'm excited about that. But they run an auction page. Sometimes they'll do live auctions. Other times they'll just put comics or action figures, baseball cards. They'll just put a post and tell you what the starting bid is and when it's going to end. The next day it's a 24-hour reply auction. So really fun, really cool. Some great stuff they get their hands on. This being a prime example of it. I've added another sub-10 Daredevil to my run. Daredevil number 4 from 1964, written by Stan Lee. and I know we're going to see a double again. Jack Kirby cover. First appearance of Kilgrave, better known as the Purple Man. I've always said I love obscure villains, and this one definitely fits right in. He was exposed to a chemical, which then gave him the ability to control people's minds at will using a pheromone, he admits. So still awesome that Daredevil is still in the iconic yellow and black first costume. I was very excited to get my hands on this, and it was a very fair deal. So now I'm 4 issues, sub 10 of Daredevil. I think my goal was to try to get side quest, Colossus Collector, was to get the first 10 issues of Daredevil, which I think is obtainable. Number 1 is a big key, and it's going to be a little more expensive, but the other ones aren't too bad. And so now I've knocked off a couple. I like this one. I have the third Daredevil 3 with the first appearance of the Owl. And that's cool because he's in the suit, but he's just jumping right off the page with this one. So Daredevil number 4 in the collection. Swinging off Silver Age keys for a moment, we're going to dip into the Bronze Age with what I think is arguably one of the best comic book covers definitely in the Bronze Age, maybe ever, because it just screams comic book and the kind of wild craziness, zaniness that can happen. I'm talking about Marvel Premiere 45 with Man-Wolf on the cover. So this is from 1972, written by David Anthony Kraft, cover by the great George Perez. That's a big reason I want to pick this book up. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to read it. But I got this comic from Comic Fanatic 86 on Instagram, another reliable, trusted seller that I talk about from time to time. Like I said, I've kind of honed down where I get books from so I can recommend them to you guys with not an ounce of question that they're going to give you the best experience possible when getting comic books through the mail. So I wanted this book for a while. I saw it on a live stream with some other gentlemen, and Bleecker Street Comics showed this off, and I was like, oh, I forgot that comic existed. So Comic Fanatic 86 had, he does sales on Tuesdays, I believe, and I think this was under the $5 or $10 book purchases, you know, so just really love that cover with the Man-Wolf, classic Perez. Just really wanted to add to my collection. So yeah, Marvel Premiere 45. Thanks, Comic Fanatic, appreciate you. All right, dipping back into the Silver Age with a Fantastic Four spot. I got this book from Never Aging Sales on Instagram, another seller that I've just found, but based on my first sales experience with them, this book was fairly priced. It was shipped quick. It was shipped properly in a Gemini. Very good communication from start to finish of the sale. There's always some things I really look for when I'm buying comics to people online that are going to determine if I go back to them or not. And everyone I mention on here does hit that the marks that I look for. If someone doesn't, I'm not going to blast them on the internet. I'm not going to blow them up. I'm just not going to mention them. So I just want to bring some positivity to the great sellers that are out there. And I don't tell them, that I'm going to be reviewing their books or whatever until they've made it to me safely, and I ask if I can talk about them on the channel. So, Never Aging Sales, love it, man. Thank you. Fantastic Four 58, The Dismal Dregs of Defeat. This one, I say key because cover price lists it as a classic Doom cover, which they do for a lot of Fantastic Four with Doom on the cover. But love this. Wyatt Wingfoot looking defeated down there. Everyone in the Fantastic Four looking pretty beat up. So this is from 1967. Of course, written by Stan Lee, covered by Jack Kirby. I've been wanting this one to fill in my 58s. I believe I am just issue 59 away from having 51 through 59. 50 is on my radar for the Silver Surfer one, another high-priced one, but this does count in the 40 that I quoted in my video yesterday when I showed off Fantastic Four 8. I have some books I just haven't showed off yet, so very cool. Love this cover. And as you can see now, as I was showing with the Fantastic Four 8 yesterday, there was no window box. It was just a Fantastic Four and 12 cents, and now the trade dress is getting built up there by Marvel. So a very awesome book, Fantastic Four 58. Thank you, Never Aging Sales. Last book, going back into the Bronze Age. Not a key, but one that I needed for my run. This is Man-Thing number 13 from 1974, written by Steve Gerber and cover art by the great Gil Kane. Love how he does the Man-Thing. So I am whittling down my issues for Man-Thing's first solo run. I think I have like 4 or 5 left. My goal at the beginning of 2023 was to complete the whole run, and I've kind of been stretching it out. I could have done it sooner if I hadn't picked up some other keys, but just kind of making it last because they're not too crazy expensive to pick up. This one came from a very good friend of mine through, I've mentioned it before, through my exploits of buying and selling toys on Instagram and just meeting a bunch of collectors. My buddy Michael from California, he's a girl dad too. We bonded on that, and he used to collect a lot of Star Wars, whereas I did too. We kind of got our collections, put them away, and now we focused on comics. So he was kind enough to send me an early birthday present for my birthday in September and sent this off to me. Michael's just become a good friend. We chat, a lot on Facebook Messenger, and he has a beautiful collection of Signature Series books and other comics as well. But Michael, thank you so much for sending me this Man-Thing. I really appreciate it, helping me close in on my run. It's in great condition too. Beautiful book. So Man-Thing, number 13, added to the run. All right, so that's it for this week. Some really great books I was happy to add to my collection. I'd love you to leave a comment. Who is your favorite Iron Man villain? Is it the Mandarin? Is it someone else? Tell me who you think it is. So please leave me a comment and tell me about that. So definitely a big shout out to the collecting community as a whole, but also other YouTube community members. I will be on a show, I think Monday, he said it's going to drop, with a gentleman by the name of Laurence, who is the host of Mighty Comics and Collectibles. Awesome show. He does some great content. I really enjoy watching him, and he was really kind to invite me and Mike from Lunch Money Comics on, and he did This or That, where he takes 3 books, presents you with them, asks which one you would take if money was not an option, and then tells you some data, kind of drills into it, and sees if he can sway you either way. It was really fun, and I really appreciate people inviting me on their streams, and I can't wait to do more streams. I have one coming up at the end of this month. I have 4 new collectors on there. I have Scotty from S.Vaughn82. I have What's on the Comic Rack, hosted by Mr. Akins. I have Ryan, the Colossus Collector, and then I have Michael from Angry Otter Comics. So those guys are going to be on August 31st at 8 p.m. It's a Thursday. It's going to be a live stream show. I'm excited to host them. So thank you, everyone, for the continued love and support. I appreciate you so much. This is a blast. It's been a long week. I had to really get up and go to get this video going, but once I started filming, it definitely it's what I need after a week of work and just being a dad. So hope everyone has a great, safe weekend. I got Belkville next week. I'm pretty excited to go hunt. But until then, I'll talk to you soon and keep reading those comics.